What if I told you that there was a game that you could play, but it would also help you with the design process and how to become a better board game designer all at the same time? What would you think about that?
That would be amazing.
Well, it turns out there is one, and you can actually check it out right now on Kickstarter.
This is a snap review for Running Out of Time, a board game and also board game design class in a box.
Running Out of Time was designed by Jay Cormier and Blaze Sewell. So Asher, let's do what we do at Snap Reviews. Let's talk about the art in Running Out of Time.
It's weird, but cool and identifiable. It's also not done, so we can't talk about it a lot. But personally, I don't really like it.
I like it in kind of a weird way. I think some of the art is simplified, but it's done in a way that's on purpose really, really clear and easy to understand. I should restate what Asher did. It's not finished. The book we have even has placeholders for future art in some places. Honestly, the whole game, it's really just this book. It's spiral bound, so it opens and it lays flat, which is great. But what's inside this book is what's different. Let's talk about that in the mechanics of how you play Running Out of Time.
Running Out of Time is a story about Charlie and Natalie Mitchell, a brother and sister. Something crazy happens to them in the first chapter, and now they've got to figure out how to make it right. And you'll figure out how to do that by playing different board games.
So the game has a collection of game components that can be used in all of the different games. Ash and I got to sit down with each game, figure out what components it called for, and then play the game as it was designed. But then what?
The book points out some of the problems with the games. Usually these problems are pretty obvious, but sometimes they're not. No matter what, after it explains the problems, it's easy to understand how they could affect some people, even if they don't bother us at the particular time.
So that's it? It just talks about why the games in the book are bad?
Come on, that'd be pretty dumb. Each game has pages of suggestions of how that game could be modified to be more fun, but it gives you the ability to decide what rules you want to change.
Then we got to play the same game again, but with those new changes. We could even use the other game components in the box to complement the new, unique version of the game. We got to try some stuff and see what worked and what didn't, and then make some more changes. And again, the book guided us.
The first game was only a spread of 2 pages, but it had like 1,000,000 pages explaining what was good, what was bad, and what could be changed. It also had some prompts for us to work on making the game even better.
Later games brought more complexity up front, but also more analysis. It got a little harder for us to figure out how we would want to change them, but for us, it led to more discussions about how building board games worked and how players could make more interesting decisions.
Plus, the story was actually pretty fun and funny to go through, so that helped.
By the end of Running Out of Time, you are completely rebuilding the last game to make it work.
The game rewards you for trying new things and giving you stickers, up to 25 of them, to mark your progress.
Alright, Asher, well, now it's time to talk about what we expected from Running Out of Time.
I honestly had no idea what to expect. I just knew that it was a book for a game, and I like that kind of stuff. So I wanted to try it.
Alright. Well, I used Jay Cormier's Fail Faster journals for some game development on my own, and I knew that he teaches game design courses for college, so I knew there would be some really good insights on game development here. I had heard about this, so I knew kind of the idea that there were broken games and that we would have to fix them. And that's pretty much exactly what we got. But I do know that this game wasn't entirely what I was expecting, and I bet that's also true for you since you didn't have any expectations at all. So what surprised you about this game, Asher?
I think what surprised me the most was how they managed to connect super simple games to the plot and still make them interesting. They weren't much fun at first, but after a few changes, they were pretty awesome. Kind of.
To be entirely honest, the game design teaching is way deeper than I expected. I thought we'd see maybe 10 games with like 1 or 2 comments each, but instead, Jay and Blaze went in the completely opposite directions, putting only 5 games in the book, but really digging deeply into that game design. I felt like the story section honestly got a little bit long. Since there were only 5 points to work out the plot, you had to kind of cram a lot of stuff in there. That didn't make the game any less fun, I just wanted to get to the game part of it a little bit faster. So, Asher, if you could leave the people who are watching this with 1 or 2 thoughts about Running Out of Time, what would those be?
I think it's really fun if you like designing games, obviously, or if you're okay with failing.
Alright, well for me, I think that there's just nothing else like this on the market. You could teach a game design class out of this book. maybe not at the college level, but if you're middle grade or junior high, or even if you're like a high school teacher running like a game club after school, this is an incredible asset that you absolutely have to think about. It's on Kickstarter right now, and it's only $30. We'll include a link below, and I really recommend you click in and at least take a look at it and see what me and Asher and some other people think. That's running out of time in a snap. Don't have to rush. That's fine.